This is a LEGO Technic trophy truck that I've made. It features remote control with fully independent front suspension and steering, of course. And here in the back, I have double swing arm suspension, which is independent for the most part. It's kind of hard to make it suspend with one hand. And the propulsion is two buggy motors, one on each swing arm, so it's quite fast and quite powerful. I used one hard shock absorber for each swing arm and one soft shock absorber, and that seems to be about the right amount of softness. Power functions battery box, infrared receiver, and the power functions infrared remote. Windshield. There's the cables on the inside. One of the buggy motors has to be reversed, so I used the power functions switch to reverse it. I've jacked up the back of the vehicle, and this will give you kind of an idea of how the motors connect to the wheels and the speed. As you can see, it's pretty fast, and I have the motors, the output of the motor goes directly into the wheel, but it goes through the planetary wheel hub, which really gives it quite a lot of power, because the motor is really fast, and the planetary wheel hub decreases the speed and increases the torque by 5.4 times. So it's a quite fast and powerful vehicle. I put this link rod to connect the two back swing arms so that they don't bend away from each other too much. And here's a showcase of the steering. Pretty simple steering, just back and forth as usual. But one thing of note, let me flip the car over, is I used two steering rods, two link rods on each side to make it a lot more robust. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 on each side. And that makes it quite strong steering. It's now a lot less likely to break. And it just has the standard 90-degree steering, return to center. There's the steering motor right there. Pretty robust front. I didn't bother with too many details like lights and stuff. And as you can see on the bottom, it's a pretty sparse interior. It really helps it to be lightweight. Very simple drivetrain, pretty much the simplest drivetrain because the motors go directly into the wheels. It's two-wheel drive, but you don't have to worry about an open differential making one of the wheels slip because each wheel is driven independently. Although it's not a rock crawler, nor is it going to be falling off of any big slope, hopefully, it can fall pretty good. Yep. This here is one of the swing arms of this trophy truck, and it is the basis of this whole build. This combination of motor, hub, and wheel is the whole reason this build was possible, and in fact it was the inspiration for this build. And I'll take it apart and show how it's set up, because it's a very simple setup, but it did require a bit of clever building to get it set up properly. So here I've taken some pieces off to better showcase it, and this motor is the Technic buggy motor, and you can see it has two motor outputs. I'm using the farther output, which is slightly slower but a bit more powerful than the inner input. And I have it coming directly out of the motor into this planetary hub that came in the Mercedes-Benz Zetros trail truck and a few other Lego sets. So the motor goes directly into the hub, and the hub reduces the speed and increases the torque 5.4 times. So it's a very fast motor going into the hub, which makes it a bit slower but very powerful. And as you can see, it's a very straightforward setup, just motor, hub, and then here's the wheel that goes on it. And I've taken off these top pieces to better show how it works. And here's the motor speed for you. So pretty fast, pretty powerful, a very good setup, the match between this motor and this hub. And since I have one of the swing arms off anyway, you can kind of better see the attachment points of the springs on the underside and the movement of the swing arm.